was Wednesday night woes for Argyle in Swansea. The optimism that was built over the last couple of results since the last international break was quickly dashed in a 45 minutes where Swansea scored 3 goals to take the game away from the Greens. It leaves them bottom of the table and 5 points from safety. This is Argyle Analysis, and once again I'm joined by Aaron Cusack to help talk through everything that happened during the 90 minutes in South Wales. And Aaron, it wasn't a happy one.
It wasn't, Charlie. Unfortunately, when the players needed to put in a performance where it needed to matter most, unfortunately it didn't follow through, and now it looks a very difficult task to get out of that relegation zone.
Yeah, 5 points adrift, 5 games to play. Maybe importantly, 4 of those sides are in the playoff positions as well. So it is a tough run-in. And that's why I think it was such a kind of crucial game, wasn't it? Certainly off the back of the Watford draw away from home, the Pompey win just before the international break, and then the win against Norwich. There was renewed optimism, wasn't there, going into the game against Swansea?
Very much so, yeah, very much so. And we said in our analysis show that we felt that they could go up there and take it to Swansea because Norwich and Swansea were very similar in the way that they like to kind of maintain possession of the ball and don't always kind of do much with it. But that wasn't the case last night. What was really disappointing was the calibre and the manner of the performance. Everyone who was watched the game would agree it wasn't to the level that they would expect. And I think it was how easily Swansea created chance after chance. And on another night, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. It was 3-0 and, it was 1-0 after 4 minutes. Swansea kind of just took the game away from Argyle in the first half, didn't they?
They did. It was that kind of opening spell. And they came out on the front foot. And, the first goal by O'Brien in that first 4 or 5 minutes set the tone for the rest of the evening. And, Swansea, for me, just looked hungrier. They were a lot more aggressive in 1v1 moments. This ball coming in from Ronaldo is a great ball in. It's a real clinical header. And we've got kind of a wide angle view here. So there are a couple of things that they'll look back on. We've got O'Brien circled. He's the goal scorer. So he's out of the eye line of Randall at the minute. On another day, Randall recognises where the immediate threat might be. So his recovery run gets him goal side. But he's attracted to the ball. And as the ball then kind of gets played in a 1v1 moment, Soranola's got a compromised position. So he's in a 2v1 moment here. He's got no support. So he's going to keep his shape. But as the ball comes in, this is not aimed at Matty Soranola at all. But which one of the two is the most dangerous? Well, you'd have to think O'Brien is, because he's coming in at the heart of that red zone, upon which Soranola on another day, emergency defending, would go towards that central area. But that was 1-0. And then the second goal, this is a real disappointing scenario. In this, hindsight's a wonderful thing, Charlie, but in this moment here, Pleguezuelo should take responsibility simply because he's got the ascendancy to step forward. Randall should act as a block for where the immediate pressure is coming from, and then Pleguezuelo would be able to take it off the line of the nearest Swansea press. But as it happens, Randall took responsibility, and then obviously this bit led to a little bit of a catastrophe where he gave away the free kick, and then from the resultant ball in, it's a wicked ball in, a really good ball in. Is it Darling with the header in the kind of middle area of the goal? But Joe Allen does something really clever here, Charlie. He recognised that Katic is the best header of the ball. He just blocks his run. So he just stops him from running, and then Darling's just kind of got the blind side of Bundu and he's able to glance it in. And then the third goal, on another day, Soranola, I know he wants to set the ball back. So if Randall drops below the ball and you set it back, it invites a better pass. Obviously, it's a misplaced pass. These players aren't taught to pass square. And then it's worked out to Josh Key, and he's hit one from 30 yards where he saw Connor Hazard off his line, and what a finish. And that was game, set, match, wasn't it? And, it kind of just epitomised the real disappointing first half, but not, more importantly, a more disappointing first 30 minutes or so.
Yeah. Each one of those goals has bits of quality about it. The one-on-one take on and cross from Ronaldo is excellent. The ball in from Ji-sung On for Darling's header is excellent. And that finish from Josh Key, as we've just seen, is really good. So they've all got excellent qualities about the way in which they were scored. But it had a sense, and this is what kind of went throughout the game, but certainly with those goals, that Argyle gave them a helping hand in all of them.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And unfortunately, teams punish mistakes. And last night, they capitalised on the turnovers in possession. You know, these players don't give the ball away deliberately, but Swansea jumped on any moment that was presented to them, and they took their chances. And it just seemed, in particular in the first half, everything was going their way as well. I appreciate they were winning the game, but you know, I think Franco had a volley like out of the sky, it dropped out of the sky, he hit it sweetly, you know, and on another night that goes in Rose Ed. But you know, they capitalised on the little errors, and we weren't able to.
Yeah, and a lot of those errors were inflicted by the way in which Swansea pressed Argyle. They changed their shape. They went to a back four and they smothered.
Yeah, they did. They smothered from all different angles. So they recognised that, you know, Argyle are renowned for their possession in the way that they set up now. So therefore, don't give them time to settle. You know, that's a 4v2 regain. But look at the aggression of the front three there, Charlie, where they run on the highest line. That gives O'Brien time to carry, and then Vipotnik should do better. You know, it was a great first touch inside of Katic, I think, and then he hits it. So look at this moment here. Barley Mumba picks the ball up. He's going to be smothered by 4 Swansea players. So therefore, it limits his options. And then he doesn't know what to do. And then the possession's turned over. But it was the way that they were very cutting and up back through, look, get on the highest line. You know, now they've got 2 or 3 players threatening. But look at the support they've got as well. Ronaldo with a good ball across. And on another day, they just tap it in. So they were cutthroat. And they were ruthless in the way that they worked the ball, because quickly they penetrated and they jumped on any moment. You know, JB regains the ball and within a second he's fully pressed. That gives, I think, Joe Allen time to put a ball in. And there's a great save by Conor Hazard, double save from On as it kind of goes, ricochets towards the goal line. And then, you know, they're still in that ascendancy, and even that strike there could have returned the goal. You know, this one here as well. So we look at the moment with JB, he's going to get on the ball, but it was how quickly they smothered it. You know, so the ball goes in there and then they're jumping on him. And that, in a fraction, you're unaware of what to do. He tries to maintain possession. He rolls it out to Puac, but then as soon as the ball goes, jump on it. And there's no room. And as a result, there's no room. There's your turnover. Look at the run by Om at the top of the screen. Little diagonal blindside run. And Conor Hazard, I think gets a hand to it. But nonetheless, I mean, that could have taken it to 6, to be honest.